Hello, my name is Heem, and if you're watching this is where I just talk about my life. Yeah, I just woke up, but I just had this urge to make a video. Not too sure why, but I'm in the game of following my heart now. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, ever since my last video, um, I've got a couple more comments on my first video, which was cool. I appreciate all the support, all the comments. Um, yeah, nothing big has happened, but you know, that's perfectly all right. Life keeps going on. And the thing I wanted to talk about that I was actually going to talk about last night, but I don't know, something came over me where I just didn't want to talk about it. But I think now's a good time. Is I wanted to talk about how I feel fundamentally different from the rest of the world. Yeah, had a jump cut real quick because my cat wanted to go out to the patio, so I just opened the door to let him out. But I was saying earlier that um, I have this idea that I'm fundamentally different from everyone else, and it's true. I know it's not a true statement, but it's something that I've related to my entire life. And now that I'm here and I realize that's not true, after maturing and coming to that conclusion after all this time, it's still taking a long time for me to digest it in my everyday life and accept it. Like, I understand cognitively, and when I'm sitting down right here, like, I am the same as everyone. But if I'm not thinking about it, and I'm not if I'm not thinking about it, like, how do I say it? If I'm not thinking about it, like, if it I guess you could say, if it's not in my head, I kind of push it to the side and I forget it, and I go back to my old notion of I am different from everyone else. I have to remind myself of it, kind of. But that's still not really the right word, but it kind of it's kind of on the right track. But yeah, so what I'm about to say is probably like really really like common sense and obvious, but for me it's not at all. Where sometimes I look at someone and I say, hold up. They go home and sleep and they think about their day while they're sleeping. That's crazy because I do the same thing. I think about how my day was when I go to sleep, or I think about all the things that happened today. If there's something that happened that was emotionally charged, I'll think about that a lot before I go to sleep. And if you tell me, hey, normal people do that, I'd be like, it takes time for me to realize all of that because I've never thought that way my entire life. I've come to this realization within the past year, which is crazy, right? Like, I was always so alienated for many reasons. I could start with religion. I could start with some some friend groups that were, I guess, maybe borderline toxic, or some friend groups that didn't make me feel worth. Um, Stuff like that. And I think my parents but no fault to them. But yeah, I think that my my alienation is incredibly deep rooted, and it's I've realized one of the consequences of it, which is I just feel fundamentally different from everyone. It's funny because I always used to pride myself on being smarter than everyone else. And the more I do this introspection and I try to change my life for the good, the more I realize that I know nothing. And nobody else knows anything either. The more I just realize that all of us are human. And the more I realize, hey, we ain't shit. Like, we're not like superhumans, like doing, like, I used to look at a company, let's say, I used to look at Amazon, and I used to look at Jeff Bezos, and I'd be like, wow, that's crazy how he did that. That's crazy how he turned his company to like a multi-billion-dollar monopoly in America. And the more I think about it, I realize he's just a human, and he made human steps to get to where he's at, which is like crazy to me to think about, like, hey, this guy in the history books, he's done so much. You could call it good or bad. But he's done so many things that are grand. That's what I mean. He's done so much. He has had grandiose accomplishments slash influence, that it's crazy to think that, like, he's a human just like me. Like, the only thing that separates him from me is that he was born at that time and raised that way, in that place, by those people. And that's literally it. And he had his brain, and that's where the separation ends. We're both human. And that, like, being human, like, it's like the great equalizer. We're all human, which is foreign to me. It's a foreign concept. It's like, wow. But yeah. Yeah, I think it's really freaking obvious. But it's not at the same time, for me at least. And that's why I'm making this, cuz, like, I'm saying what I want to say, what I think is crazy, even though it's 100% true and not crazy. But yeah, I think that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today. Let me think of a quote of the day. Okay. My first couple quotes of the day were like super freaking, like, they were good. So, spoiler, from here on out, they're not going to be that good. Maybe I stumble across a gem like I did the first two episodes. But this just be kind of, I feel like philosophy in itself is kind of saying, it's like basically a bunch of common sense. Like, I told my brother some philosophy, And he was like, yeah, that's what I know. Bro, what do you say? When I spit some bars on him and he says, I know, I'm like, you're missing the point, bro. It's not, I'm not supposed to say anything that changes your mind or your world. I'm supposed to say something that we all know, but I say it in a way that resonates with you and it guides your life. It's not supposed to be like abstract concepts. But yeah, today's going to be a common sense quote of the day. So the common sense quote of the day is, the only difference between you and anyone else in the world is that you have your circumstances and they have theirs. Solid. All right. Well, that's about it. Hope y'all have a good day if anyone watches this. And, I don't know, drink water. Yeah, drink water. That's good. All right. Deuces, my gooses.